that can really tank was Kaja. Fags, all that Khalid builds damage. His emblem was damaged, so not enough peel in their composition. And he popped up for a Ling, so Ling will definitely build damage. Only one member that can soak in, quote-unquote, the damage. There you go. That was a thin lineup. So every member from the side of Blade knew that. They exploited it.
Yes.
And that's just, it's so hard to watch.
It was one of those mindsets, right? When you come into games where you're like, you know what? The best defense is a good offense, right? So that's why everyone built damage. There was not really much that they can do when they go in for these team fights. They were trying to think, you know, let's just strike them first. Let's get them first before they even can deal out the damage. But unfortunately for them, in this regard, it didn't work out with how many pick-off presents that Bleed had, right? So even if they wanted to go for that, they had the Cho to work with. They had Arlet with the final slash to prevent even that damage from coming through. So it was very difficult for Flash to be able to take that game. For game number 2 here, it looks like both of these teams are discussing right now. We're moments away from the drafts. And I would expect Flash this time, like you mentioned, to go for a better draft, but also play to their strengths.
Yeah. It seems like they all individually wanted to achieve something, but then if you put all their goals together in terms of what they wanted to do with their individual picks, it just really doesn't mesh. So again, we know Team Flash made it to great heights in MPL SG Season 5. Yes, we know this isn't exactly the same roster, but majority of your players who made it that far, going down the lower bracket finals, securing 3rd place, they're there. And I just hope to see that side of Team Flash.
Hopefully do, right? So let's jump to the drafts here where they do not really switch side here.
Okay, so they opted for the same position here. Flash once again with the first pick, Bleed with the second. And so far, right, we even mentioned this, right? For Flash, they swapped out their rosters. They put KZP in the roam. Jay's not there. And so far, there's not much of a difference. Or even, it looks even messier, I would say, unfortunately. So they still commit to the Valentina ban here in the first phase, trying to shut down Kill VJ, like you mentioned, the king, or so he is called. And how will Bleed respond to this? Because honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I think they should respond the same way here, right? But the right adjustment from Flash here, perhaps they can pick up the Lancelot themselves and try to play around with it, taking it away, denying it away from the side of Deck, and just see the drafts from then and there.
That would work. That would work. A Lancelot first pick isn't something that is new or something that is too incredulous. It's something a lot of teams do. Yeah. So hopefully we do see that on the side of Team Flash, change up their priorities. However, if they decide to first pick the Kaja again, totally fine with that. Kaja first pick it's hard to go wrong there, but considering that they do ban out the Valentine, I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna go that route again.
Literally no differences.
No,
not yet.
Still the same.
Still the same. Sure, it was a glue ban earlier on for Bleed. Oh, there you go. The glue gets banned. It's exactly the same.
Yeah. Now the question is, will Bleed ban the Faramis and will Team Flash ban the Fanny? Those are their the last bans that we haven't seen yet. Oh, they're banning the Fanny. Still the same. Exactly the same so far.
Still the same here from both teams, but expect a different first pick. We mentioned the Lancelot, but what are the other options here, right? If they don't really want to go the Lancelot, I think second option would be the Arlet.
Yep, the Arlet. But I'm still leaning towards them picking Kaja. They took away the Valentina, and if they're gonna give the Kaja, then they might pick up a Franco for themselves, because if one other team has Suppress, it's good to match that Suppress as well. It's not necessary, but considering the picks that we have floating around with a lot of dashes, you'd also need that catch. Team Flash can also pick up the Cho for themselves if they're going to be picking up the Kaja on the side of Bleed.
I honestly think that the Arlet was one of the main problems, right, for the side of Flash.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I don't think that they should leave it open, honestly. They go for the Lancelot ban this time around, and that actually puts Flash in a very difficult position, and there you go. Arlet, the priority.
Yeah, good. We're going to be seeing a much more active and present Vegs. We got a glimpse of it as one of the bright spots of Team Flash in game number 1, and you take it away from the hands of Sagitnu. It's going to be interesting to see what Sagitnu picks up. They don't need to pick up their XP laner until later. They can save it their XP laner pick. Kaja is wide open for the taking here, as well as the Lancelot. If not, they can also go maybe even Kaja Nova or Fredrin, actually. Yeah, Fredrin also still up.
Fredrin works here, right? I mean, being Lancelot already banned out, so
yeah,
Arlet should be the first pick there. No-brainer, but Bleed has the option for Fredrin. And as well as you mentioned the Kaja here, if they do not want to commit to Kaja, perhaps they can switch up the marksman. They can steal the marksman away, but no, it's not even the Kaja nor the marksman. They secure that heave, so they take it away in a sense in the hands of the Flash.
And Fredrin, like I mentioned, right? It's so safe. It's so safe. You can even flex it into the EXP lane if you want to have that surprise factor and save the jungle for later. And it actually puts Flash in a blind spot. I would go for Novaria here.
Oh yeah.
Novaria Kaja.
Yeah, Novaria
or Novaria Franco even.
Novaria Franco, Novaria Claude might work.
Yeah, Claude, that works too. You all mentioned very great ones, but it will be the Farsa. They just want to match artillery for artillery. Here, Kaja, I'd like to see the Kaja, honestly. But let's see if they'll go for it. Martis. Much better.
That's what you wanted.
I like to see the Martis.
Martis.
Yes.
Kyrie.
It's a
now.
comfort. It's a comfort. He will, if he's not gonna shine here, at least he'll be. He wouldn't have to worry so much about him getting constantly invaded or losing so many resources, because it's tough to do that against a Martis.
I mean, reflecting from game one, it did not survive the second phase, so might as well pick it up in the first phase, right? So
I won't be surprised if he actually begged for it. It's like, oh, can I please play the Martis? I don't want that to happen again.
Secure my hero first, please, coach.
Yeah.
But now, what does Bleed go for, right? Because if they want to go for the Claude to be able to deal damage onto the Farsa, the Claude seems a little bit susceptible, right, towards Vegs.
YZ?
YZ.
You
mentioned YZ earlier.
Kaja, okay.
Mix up the Kaja first. But you mentioned YZ in game number 1. I'd like to see it here for Bleed for game number 2. It just makes sense as the pickup. But we've seen teams not always go for it. It's not as that much of a necessity anymore.
Okay, interesting here. Let's see what will the approach be from Flash, right? Because they have a chance to ban the Youth Zone out. Second phase, they should try to limit the gold lane option here. Perhaps they could ban the
Claude.
Yeah.
Or perhaps if they want to pick up themselves, they can leave it open. But
I don't know. I don't think Claude is as good for Bleed as it is for Flash right now.
Yeah. You know what? I would want to see. It probably won't happen, but I'd want to see Bleed consider taking out the Claude. If not, Team Flash might take it out because it's good for. It would be a good ban, but if there are a lack of basic attack heroes, like really fast ones, left on the table, Bleed can go Uranus as one of their last picks.
I like it. They need some sort of a sustainability here, but Flash, okay. A little bit gamble move here. They have yet to pick up a marksman, but they already limit their marksman themselves. So 1-1 ban here, Minotaur ban falls through as well. Are they going to commit to a roamer? I think one gold laner here could suffice.
It is shocking to me why they would ban the 1-1. They already have the Farsa on their side. The Franco is still available for picking for Bleed. So the 1-1 ban is shocking, because if ever Bleed did pick that up, there are still heroes on the table, and there are already heroes on the table for Team Flash to, in their lineup that will give
counter
and counter that 1-1.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Bleed with the final ban. Okay, they commit to a roam here with that Kufra ban. So a very interesting lineup, because realizing this lineup, it doesn't really. It's not a good matchup going up against Kaja here, Kufra itself, but that means they want to secure a hero like the Beatrix, that someone that is quite vulnerable on towards a Kufra catch.
Kufra banned out. It gives me vibes that maybe Bleed want to pick up an assassin. I'm not really sure, right? Lapu Lapu is a choice of ban here from the side of Flash.
Oh, that's a tell. They're looking to pick up the Melissa later, probably. The Melissa might be the gold laner for Team Flash later on.
Makes sense. Looking at the composition, they can be clumped up here with the Kaja, right? And as well as the Fredrin. So Melissa pickup could come through for side of Flash. Bleed Esports here, what are the options?
Melissa and Claude. Those would
Melissa
be
or Claude.
yeah, either of those two I feel like already are great for Bleed.
They can't pick up the Claude because the Claude is such a nuisance if you have the Valentino on your team taking their time, but there you go, the Beatrix, right? Okay.
Can't go wrong with it.
Another APC.
Okay. It's spicy. I like it. It's up against an Eve. It might struggle, but I like the bravery that they're going for with this Harith pickup.
Is it gonna work though? That's the question,
Yeah.
right? Oh man, it's
only
so
time
risky.
will tell. Yeah, but the lineup they picked scaled relatively quickly. So I like what Team Flash is going for with their thoughts here. They're picking up a lineup that, if Bleed aren't careful, this could snowball like crazy. So I like this lineup much better more for Bleed.
So what are they lacking here from the
Flash.
side of Team Flash, right? Roamer.
Yeah.
What can they go for here? Minotaur Band, Kufra, I guess Grok is an
Atlas.
option.
Cho.
Atlas, Cho,
Or they might go for something
Lolita.
supportive.
Lolita, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, they want to add more crowd control. They want to add more cover as well. You're right, Harith just needs one
Yeah.
item to scale, so they will definitely play around the early, but they do not mind quote-unquote defending because they have a really good high ground in that Harith and as well as in that Farsa. One missing puzzle here in the hands of Bleed. I might say they have Burst, they have also DPS.
EXP or Jungle is basically the decision, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why they opted to ban for the Kufra. If it's for the Beatrix, all right. But I
Hayabusa.
have, there you go.
There.
See, I had a
That's why,
feeling.
yeah.
Assassin
Yeah.
pick.
They
great
need
call
more
there.
damage. It does
Yeah.
make sense, yeah.
Yeah, and it does. Usually that's what you pick up against a lineup that has artillery mages. I like this Farsa. I like this Hayabusa pickup against the Farsa, and it's a much better drafting equally for both of these two teams now. I like it. I like what I'm seeing from both of them.
And the true damage, right, coming in from the Hayabusa is going to be very, very important to try and stop this Harith from even being able to scale from that mid-game. I like the composition of Bleed. I think they're thinking it through. But for the side of Flash, it's a little bit more difficult for me to execute. There's a lot of room for error. They have a lot of counters on their opponents. So, quick, Gonny, prediction.
I gotta go with Flash here.
Flash,
Yeah.
all right, very interesting. Reptar?
Change of heart, Flash.
Flash, okay, I'll go for Bleed then. We'll see how this goes in this best of 3. Remember, one more game for Bleed, and that is going to push them forward to be able to qualify for the Challenge Finals. And with that in mind, let's throw it to our casters.
How you doing? It's match point between Bleed and Flash. We're bringing you game 2 here with a relatively repaired draft by Flash. They're doing much better here, Mirko.
Yeah, Flash definitely, we were kind of weirded out by the draft as well. The setup for the link was just not there. But here in game number 2, it feels like it's much more, it's much better. They have the proper draft in the early phase to really develop on it in the second, and they were able to completely just take control, I would say, of the draft. And I would agree, Flash definitely have a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to these team fights.
Yep, they got the fundamentals down, and here's something we tackled in game 1. Vegs turn to pick up the Arlot. He's rocking that unbending will. So now we can expect for him to not just try to set up an amazing final slash, but also very proactively fight, and he's going up against Sagitnu's Fredrin.
How does this matchup go, right? Oh, well, before that, that's a 4-man dive down below. Good stun, and it's going to be the kill. First blood over. Oh, it's a bit unfortunate that it goes to KZP, but still, a kill is a kill this early on. With a minion, a cannon minion wasted as well down below. It's going to be massive.
4v1 is never good, right? But if you're talking about Arlot versus Fredrin, the Fredrin isn't really going to do. Wait, hold on. They just pummeled through that shield. Sagitnu has to repair the situation here. Does get himself that last cart, but I'm not so sure if it's going to be enough. Nope, he's not going to be hitting level 4 when this turtle does spawn in about 2 seconds now.
1k gold lead. In the first 2 minutes of the game, just threw the turret shield down below.
Huge. Plus a first blood.
Plus a first blood, and the Fredrin just loses so much XP. And because of that, Team Flash definitely have more pressure around the neutral objective. Kyrie picking up the bottom lane. Turtle. Very early, very early.
Yep.
They're able to just get such a massive, again, huge 700 gold lead.
Yep, so here's the difference, right? From game 1, Team Flash invested in the almost ultra late game. Those are the kind of drafts that one would call draft to not lose, right? Not even draft to win, draft to not lose. But here, oh lord, they stepped on the glass, put the pedal to the metal, and said, you know what? We're starting halfway there. And that's what this looks like. Under 3 minutes, 1,000 gold ahead.
Ooh.
Wow, FMM with the read.
The juke, but he's still going to be invaded. Delve on now with a feather airstrike. FMM with the slick movement, still able to survive. The Divine Judgment goes on the Shocker. FMM is still alive. He gets out of it, but not for long. The RWM, Kill VJ, is able to step in to find Shocker. But man, what a play from FMM.
It looks like Team Flash love to revel in the chaos. KZP, is this enough to punish him? Still alive, drop into the Z-Force.
Come on, Force now. JPL, a free target. The decimation comes through. Kyrie under the turret looking for the dive. One more mortal coil, and it's a double kill for Kyrie, but he loses his life.
That's his true damage. He took too many turret hits. I myself am guilty for such shenanigans. But wait, Deck got that passive on. Ooh, shadow kill, close call. Yep. And again, Deck could have just as well been punished the same way that Kyrie was, right? You see that, but the difference between shadow kill into a shadow out on the Haya and then the Martis, it has to go out the old-fashioned way. West Mode picking up the Calamity Reaper here. In about 24 hours, folks, that item is going to change. If you know what I'm talking about, new patch coming in. Shocker committing the feathered airstrike. Oh, they're still pressuring Sagitnu. They go back to how they started.
They understand that they have taken a lot of damage already down below, so they're just going to utilize that, use this winning lane to transition over to the other side, but they got to be careful here. The Divine Judgment and the Wesker, a gun we haven't seen in a long time. Because of that, FMM can now miss. JPL in the midst of it all, caught under the Luminal Blast, and even Kill VJ has to fall here. Decimation, Kyrie looking for the triple kill as JPL in desperation just walks over. Kyrie hitting the wall on that mortal coil, but it should still be enough. No way.
He's going to give it up.
He gets an execute. JPL! No way he got that.
Yeah, yes way he did. And folks, that is how you buy time. That is how you delay. But yes, it was a fumble for Bleed. Now up top the fight, Sagitnu's in trouble.
Appraiser's Breath getting a little bit more HP, but the Feather Airstrike was too much for him to handle. Last basic coming in from West Mode. And it's all Team Flash.
Nowhere is safe for Bleed. Team Flash have taken control of both turtles. They have pressured the XP lane so that they force a switch up even before the 5-minute mark. FMM making the most of the situation. But there's already been kills happening up top. Team Flash about 2.5K ahead. Now it's JPL's turn. How does this happen? Team Flash has orchestrated a 4v1, 3v1 over and over again.
They just really like their dives, Leo. They really like ganging up together. And with a Thunderbelt and an Unbending Will, this is going to be a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Deck, good steal, but no, the decimation! Kyrie knew where he was going to go. He just waited in the quad shadow.
Takes one to know one. I think Kyrie understood how Deck was going to be moving around on the Hayabusa. And with that kill, that pickoff, the rest of the map opens up. Team Flash now 3K ahead in a flash. They have taken control of game 2 under 6 minutes, 8-3. Look at how far ahead Deck has fallen. He's, what, 1,000 behind? Yeah. And no, this is where it started with Vegs. Vegs versus Sagitnu. This Fredrin, I don't know how to get him into a fight this time.
But it's Rage though. Oh, good pickoff. Instantly deleting Vegs. The now Blast Flicker combo only onto JPL. Not sure if they use all those resources wisely. Even with the Guardian's Bulwark, it goes through. FMM was able to find a kill. West Mode definitely too greedy here in the mid. Sagitnu just does damage. He's looking to go for more re-engaging perhaps. His deck is right there. FMM tried to go for a cheeky little shot, but I don't think he was able to find anyone. And even if he did, there's no kill threat.
Yep. So all of Bleed have tasted the bitter bite of righteous vengeance from Team Flash. They've tried their best to shrink this gold lead down to maybe 2,500, still approaching 3K, but that's not going to stop Kyrie. Kyrie has already picked up his Guardian helmet, already rocking an antique Kiras, so yeah, it's only Kill VJ he's really afraid of, but besides that, he can take Deck, FMM, Sagitnu, 1v1. But looking at Bleed, where is the hope coming from? Where might they say, you know what, if we get you online, if you get working, if we can clap back, it's going to come off of you. And I'm thinking it's off of FMM. FMM so far still has a chance, especially if we can get maybe a 1v1 or shut down on West Mode. Or it's not easy to say, but if they can take away Kyrie sitting at 6 kills, yeah, that streak's going to be bank.
Thing is, if you give the gold lead onto the Martis, it is, I wouldn't say a full waste, but it is a bit of a waste, right? The fact that he's also going to go for a full utility build, just tanky, wants to just facilitate for his team, it's not really going to be good in the mid to late game when it transitions over. Meanwhile here, Divine Judgment deck as well, now with a quad shadow. No quad shadow, just a shadow kill. Vex trying to survive. He also has the final slash. He might be looking to re-engage here, but he's just holding on to it. Doesn't want to go for a JPL though. He wants to go for a 2v1. He thinks he can take it, just whipping away. Abort, but he's not going to be able to.
Mission failed. The 2v1 on Vegs yielded no results. So yeah, that's a clear sign. Yeah, we can't do that quite yet. You're not built up deck, and the gold is going to say just as much. West mode, 6K. Kyrie, 6K. Vegs, 5.7K. And yeah, deck isn't as far behind, but I agree. I concur, Mirko. Putting money on a Martis really doesn't make much sense, but now deck gets out of there.
Close one. RWM as well. KZP might be caught here. There's going to be the re-engage. Flicker. Burnt. No Numina Blast Flicker combo. A big blow to Team Flash's team fight prowess.
What a momentum breaker. Team Flash could have sworn that they were not going down in a sweep, not like this. So yeah, this is how they take control. They're approaching 5K ahead, under 10 minutes. Lord spawning at about 15. Bleed Esports, they're looking for a pickoff, and luckily they're built to set up for pickoffs. And I guess in this next Lord, if nothing crazy happens, if a Lord dance is initiated by Team Flash,
Wait.
let's say, oh wait!
Oh, no, he gets the shadow kill off. Shocked with a flicker.
Oh, deck!
Does he want to go back here? He jumps in with a quad shadow. Oh, just barely out of range. Shocker doesn't have the flicker. Deck jumps back in.
He's got the moves. He's got the moves. Can he? Oh. All right.
Deck might be able to re-engage
Can
here.
he?
No, he doesn't want to.
All right.
He just wants to leave.
Woo, he got the deck out of there. Oh, but off camera, the rest of Team Flash started up, and KZP gets a kill!
A good bonk over with a Numenon Blast, and Sakitnu just out of range. Meanwhile, what happened up top? West Mode got caught. Sakitnu now, dodges away from final slash. He might be able to survive this one. He does not have flicker. Thanks for the vengeance now. Yep, decimation. Monster kill for Kyrie as they pick up the Lord. But again, they're going to be pushed in. And honestly, Bleed Esports might be able to just clear out all the waves.
All right, all of these kills going on Kyrie, now that you mentioned it, Mirko, is bittersweet. It's good for Team Flash that they're pushing the tempo, but the more that Kyrie gets kills, the more that they build this utility Martis, isn't really helping in the long run. So far, I think Bleed can still breathe through this. They can still weather the tide. And looking at the high ground defense, I think they got this.
Yeah, should be. Yeah, I mean, you can already see FMM on the Bennett now, clearing out this bottom lane. It's only the first Lord, so not going to be able to charge in. Bennett's rage also used up, and yeah, no turrets taken out for now. Mid lane now. With a few more empowered minions, they should be able to take this for free. And Bleed Esports, there you go. Finally, an objective going to Team Flash with the Lord. Picks up top. Deck was able to clear it out completely.
Yep. I wonder if they're setting up for a pincer. This is a dangerous position to be in for Deck. He hides in that bush. I think Team Flash smells something fishy here. They smell some shenanigans, but they let go. It's not worth it. Not to go deep.
Both teams resetting once again. Team Flash were baited, I would say. They were really just baited into a lot of these skirmishes that they shouldn't have taken after getting the Lord. And that's what gave Bleed Esports such a big chance to actually clear all the waves and minimize their loss.
Yep, and it gave them breathing room. And look, Deck held that bush with JPL, just on his tail, protecting him. There was an alternate reality where JPL actually said, you know what, let's go for the pull. We can do this. But so far, I don't say it's worth it. Don't pull the trigger quite yet. I'd say maybe give it 2 or 3 more minutes. Especially when FMM is ready. He's currently rocking a Malefic Roar, a BOD, and a Hunter Strike. One more item. One more item, I think. Maybe the Wind Talker, right? Oh, no. He doesn't need it. There's not much damage there. The DHS, yeah, or... yeah, it's still burst. No. You don't need... maybe Rose Gold Meteor. Maybe. Since there's so much pop from Shocker and West Mode. So, yeah, go from there. And then you can pick off the fight. Wait, JPL?
Oh, no, he's going to be caught here, definitely. I mean, there's no...
Is he? No, he's fine.
They didn't want to commit to it. But it's an orange of steel there down below. Deck was able to take it away. Oh, my goodness. Deck I mean, he saw all of them there earlier. He knows that Kyrie opened it up. Now with a shadow kill, he has the quad shadow to get out, but KZB's coming in.
Whoa!
It's all a bait for the airstrike. We'll take him down, though. Deck buys enough time, but not enough to take anyone down. Ew, final slash onto kill BJ. Numeron Blast, not with the flicker this time around, and Team Flash timing. Deck really, I feel like it was just such a greedy play to go for that.
I don't know, man. I was saying, again, 2 to 3 minutes, and FMM had to be there. You need FMM there. It wasn't going to work without him. So, yeah, you see the intent. You see that they know the direction they're going in. But Team Flash said, you know what? They're planning for something. We might as well push our advantage and go for a kill here. And, yeah, they found Deck. I think Deck really didn't have much to go with. There wasn't anywhere that was safe for him, especially given that Team Flash knew that he wasn't on their side of the map. So Bleed have to reset again and hope that this next Lord isn't a Lord that penetrates their base, because that's permanent damage going from there. Shocker on top of the damage scoreboards. West Mode as well. I'm surprised West Mode is second here, because we haven't really seen much initiations or team fights that involve the Harith as much as he should have been. So yeah, there's only what, 1 or 2 big Zaman forces in this 13-minute game.
Despite that, though, he does have more kill participation in this game compared to Shocker. So he has been doing work. It's just not visible on cam. Maybe because, again, a lot of these fights are split on the map. There's a lot of fights happening everywhere, even in the enemy territory for Deck.
And I think that's what's making this difficult for Bleed. If they were to somehow pick off and choose a fight and go into it where it's their choice, could be better. Now the push down bottom.
That's the charge down below. KZ's looking for a play, but it's going to be taunted up. Sakitnu able to tank up the Lord for now as the mid lane gets micromanaged. Only 2 waves were pushed up. Team Flash didn't utilize all 3 waves, and honestly, this is going to hurt them, giving Bleed more time to scale up. It's giving them a chance to come back in the game.
Yep. Instead of a hemorrhaging blow, Bleed is slowly bleeding, and I think they're working with that. They understand that, you know, it's just a trickle of the waves. They're not all going in from top, mid, and bottom, so we can do this. Now, Kyrie initiates. Watch him. Oh, there's a final slash.
Only on Sakitnu, though. He is the one you want to go for now. Back into the back line. It's going to be Deck who jumps in with a shadow kill as well. They're all caught in the real world inflation. The damage is there. Deck in the back still. Now going to be stunned up as the Force comes through. But the nearest passion from FMM. He guns them down. It's a double kill. 4-4-1. Out of nowhere is the recall cancel from JPL. Now walking Kyrie down, stopping him from stopping this play from happening. Bleed want to go for the end.
And in a flash, a 4-for-1. Kyrie's in trouble. Tier 2 gonna fall. Mid inhibitor gonna be up next. Bleed understand this is an endable situation.
5 seconds on the clock. Only Shocker left alone now. Kyrie, 1v4. Can he do it? He buys enough time for Shocker to come back. The Bruce Passion as well thrown out. But the fact that airstrike does enough. The decimation comes through. He buys the immortality. Now pops. RWM with a snipe as well. He gets it, but Kyrie soaks it up. Shocker's burning with the glowing wand on him, but it's fine. He gets to the base in time. But that has given Bleed more than a chance.
Yeehaw! We've got ourselves a rally. Back and forth. Popping bottom lane inhibitor. Bleed gets it done. Team Flash recovering from what could have been a sweep. One more Lord. How about it? Let's start a dance. Kyrie here. Where's Deck? Oh, he's taking a Little Wanderer, and now Vegs with an ultimate from that Arlet. Oh, this is a difficult contest.
They've already used the final slash. Now, Deck found! Shocker in the back, forcing the winner Clinching out now. The Renner, can he do it? Can he steal it from the team? Shocker's down! Who gets it? It's gonna be Kyrie, but he's gonna be caught in the real world manipulation. Bleed are chasing them down. They know they need to get this right now. They need to hunt them down before they get to base. But Team Flash, a bit too disciplined for that, backs off instantly.
All right, this is a trade that has a lot of numbers going for it. Yes, Team Flash got the Lord. It's luminous, but just the same, Shocker got picked off. So there's a lot of fight in Bleed right now. Bleed understands that, hey, that's a huge amount of damage that they're missing out on. They're not going to be engaging. And the fact that Kyrie here is just going pedal to the metal, I need to defend, and we have a Lord down bottom. Best case scenario for Bleed is they just clear that Lord and then reset. But what's scary is the fact that Bleed have been constantly finding the cores from Team Flash so easily now going into the ultra late game.
Can they do it? Can they defend? I think they're going to have to at least sacrifice one base turret. There's no way they come out of this unscathed, right?
Yeah, best case scenario, they clear the Lord, they keep their turrets. I'd say average case scenario, one inhibitor falls, and Team Flash understand that dynamic. Look at this. They've synchronized mid and bottom.
Wait.
They've done it. That's it.
Team Flash, very, very greedy, I would say. They're not using any of the resources. They did not want to commit.
Here we go.
Now they're pushing it in. Mid lane falls. There you go. So it's average case scenario.
Yep, they are skittish, they are conservative, but it's how they should have done it because, again, Bleed have been finding Shocker, finding West Mode more in the past 5 minutes, and they have this whole 18-minute game. 15-11. I'm thinking, with the situation we have right now, Team Flash don't want to pick a fight in mid. If they lose everything in mid again, much like they did about 5 minutes ago, it's over. For sure now I can say it's over. I'm guessing they want to pressure top. Especially since that's the long lane, given this Lord coming in about a minute.
At this point, the gold lead doesn't matter. They need to utilize their... Oh, wow.
Wait.
Final slash onto Sagitnu. I'm not too sure about that. Massive ultimate burned out, and there's no resources yet used by Bleed Esports. A big opening now for Bleed. They know it. Sagitnu's chasing them now and giving them vision.
Not to mention the flicker. They spent it on Vegs. So that's wasted. That's a plastic bag flown in the air. They're waiting for that. About a minute and a change from now on. This is a clear go sign for Bleed if they find the angle.
An attempt there from Kyrie to steal it away. Very well played from Bleed there. JPL was able to pull it into the bush, not giving him vision. But Shocker, still, like you said, trying to play that long lane. Thing is, for Team Flash, it's very unfortunate that the base threat that they crack is in the bottom lane, is where the Lord's going to spawn. So Bleed should be able to still manage this wave whilst also doing the same onto the bottom side. But it seems like they know. They know where Shocker is at.
Do they know? And he reveals himself, spending that big ult.
He finds it! A beautiful feathered airstrike, max range! JPL with the flicker out, no FMM! Massive for Team Flash!
Oh no. What was behind that huge feathered airstrike? An almost fully built Farsa, rocking a COD, Lightning Truncheon, Winter Truncheon, and Divine Glaive, the big DG. And yeah, now FMM built the Athena Shield, but I'm pretty sure he had that already. It was too late. It was too much.
He just now sold his boots, I believe, and it's a bit too late. Once again, he went for a very greedy build, went for all damage. Usually is what Beatrix just needs to do. Maybe a Win of Nature somewhere in there. The fact that Team Flash doesn't really have a lot of physical damage, he needs to go for that Athena, but again, the timing was just not at the right time. Maybe he just got enough gold.
Yep. Oh, man. That Heptases, he's playing with the Renner. I'm guessing that's why, but if this were any other build, maybe some way, somehow, if they survive for maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, it turns into an RGM. But is that even going to come into play here? There's going to be a Lord marching through mid, and it is an evolved Lord. Oh, dear Lord. This is tough. All the more now, Vex is going to be super duper game to use his final slash. It doesn't matter now. He has his flicker back.
We'll see how they utilize this. All flickers up and ready, and like we mentioned, Team Flash, this is their team fight composition. They are the ones who can push the pace in these team fights. Bleed need to try to isolate them, but how do you isolate players when they're all in your base? Let's see how they do it. A few resources already spent to clear out the wave. KZP in the back right now, not going to be able to cancel it out. Nimona blast onto the front with the flicker as well. Sagitnu is going to be slain. Meanwhile in the back, oh, it's a massive stun! They find it! Vegs! What a play! Kyrie marching forward, still the mini waves have been cleared out. That's the final slash onto kill VJ. He's going to get dove on! And this should be it. The equalizer from Team Flash. JPL with the flicker Divine Judgment onto West Mode, but it only brings him back to deal damage onto the rest of the team. FMM in the base, not enough to take this game into his own hands, and Team Flash will force a 3rd game in this series.
Bleed can't believe it. They could have sworn they had it, but look at the smile on KZP's face. Not today.
What a statement from Team Flash after getting absolutely stomped, I would say, in game number 1.
Fair to say.
They showed up in game number 2. We said it in the draft. Better team fight composition where Bleed were always just forced into the team fights as well.
An even greater start. If the comp was your main course, that early rotation on XP over and over again, clearing that energy shield, getting that 1,000 gold lead ahead in under 2 minutes was the dessert. Mwah. Kisses to the chef, and I believe the chef here in this case was our good friend